The burners were still warm when it turned the key. Chairs stacked. Glasses spotless. Reservation book empty. My phone vibrated in my pocket like it had something to say, but didn't know how to say it. We need to discuss the restaurant. Message glowed on the screen while the dining room lights died one by one. I stood there, apron still on, smelling rosemary and seared meat meant for people who never came. Outside, my name was etched in gold on the window. Inside, I was alone. That was the moment something in me closed for good. I had built this place with borrowed sleep and unpaid favors. 10 years of knife scars and midnight buses. I skipped holidays, I sent money home when I barely had rent. When Dad's car died, I fixed it. When Mom needed surgery, I paid the deductible. When Alexander wanted introductions, I made calls. Alexandro, my younger brother, corporate smiled, always rising, always celebrated. They said I was the creative one, like it was a hobby, like it wasn't blood and math and discipline, like I wasn't the one who fed them when creativity was the only thing keeping us afloat. When I signed the lease, Mom cried, said she was proud. Dad told everyone his son owned a restaurant. Alexander asked if I could cater his promotion party. I said nopening. Night mattered, he smiled. Anyway, I invited them all. Front table, handwritten cards. Their names were printed on the menu header. They RSVP'd. Yes. At 7:03 p.m. a server whispered, "Should we hold the table?" At 7:19, I checked my phone. Instagram answered for them. Champagne flutes, city skyline. Alexander in a tailored suit. Arm around Dad, Mom mid-laugh. The caption read, "Couldn't have done it without my family." That was when my loyalty died. Not loudly, not dramatically. It just stopped breathing. I finished service for strangers who wandered in because the lights were on. I comped desserts. I smiled. I thanked them for coming. When the last guest left, I locked the door and stood in the quiet like a crime scene investigator. Taking notes. No urge, just clarity, just clarity. Silence became my weapon. I didn't post, I didn't explain. I reviewed paperwork instead. Slowly, calmly, the operating agreement. Dad insisted on for tax efficiency. The loan I co-signed when Alexander needed capital to impress his board. The trademark I registered in my name because someone had to bear responsible. I noticed details I'd ignored before. Clauses, deadlines, leverage. I sent 3 emails, made 2 calls, signed 1 document. Everything it did was legal, clean, reversible, only with my consent. When Dad texted again, I replied with 1 sentence. "We already discussed it. You just didn't read what you signed." They showed up together 2 days later. All of them. Faces tight. Alexander pacing like he could outrun consequences. Mom crying before she spoke. Dad trying to sound reasonable. They said my name like it was a plea. I let them talk. I poured water. I listened like a judge who'd already ruled. Alexander finally snapped, asked what I thought I was doing. I told him the truth calmly. That the restaurant name he'd been using in pitch decks was mine. That the catering revenue hepromised investors now flowed through my accounts, that the loan defaulted. The moment he breached our agreement, biasing my brand without consent. Dad went pale. Mom sat down. Hard. Alexander laughed once. Sharp and empty. "You wouldn't," he said. I looked at him. Really looked. The brother I'd protected, funded, covered for. I already did. They tried guilt next. History, sacrifice, family. I didn't argue. I slid the documents across the table. Each page landed like a measured blow. No shouting, no threats, just facts they couldn't rewrite. Alexander's promotion evaporated by the end of the week. The board didn't like surprises. Investors hate invisible foundations. They begged me to reverse it. Dad offered apologies that felt freshly unwrapped. Mom promised things would change. I believed them. That's why I didn't. I reopened the restaurant the following Friday. Full house. Reservations stacked weeks out. Critics came. So did people who actually wanted to be there. I worked the line. I tasted every sauce. I felt light that night. After closing, I sent one final messagito, the family group chat. I didn't lose you. I stopped subsidizing your disrespect. Then I muted it. Here's the truth. I learned in the quiet after revenge. Justice doesn't need witnesses. Boundaries don't need permission, and silence, when chosen, can be louder than any scream. I built this place twice. Once with hope, once with precision. Only one of them lasted.